Peace and love. 000, 4 times on the clock. I love you all. I'm sending you all positive energy, high vibes, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, all positivity. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You hit the like button and you leave me any comments or questions in my description below. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the spirit animal bee. When I think of bees, I think of hard work, dedication, devotion, key to survival, intellect, intelligence, love, power, protection. Okay? Always be familiar that everything in the universe has its unique placement. Okay? What do it help us to ascend with? Okay? Far as we have the grass, the birds, the bees, the trees, everything has its unique talent. Okay? So when I think of bees, I think of ancient Kemet. Okay? They did beekeeping in the lower part of Kemet. And it was to help with medication. They used it for mummification. They used it for the paintings and statues in Kemet. They actually had beautiful paintings. And the color was just bright. And these paintings was made decades ago. And they were still beautiful, bright paintings as today as we look at them. Why? Because they actually use honey as the protection to keep the light and the color bright on the paintings in Kemet. Okay? Always be familiar with that. Also, for today, we can use honey for high blood pressure, to lower the blood pressure by taking 2 teaspoons of honey. Okay? We also can use honey for anemia, 222 on the clock. We can actually take 2 teaspoons and raise our blood pressure if it's too low. Okay? So honey is a very great healing ancient medicine. It also is known to be eternal. It has eternal life shelf. No expiration date. Okay? Always be familiar with that. When we think of bees, they create the beautiful flowers and the pollen, okay? And they create the honey. So it takes 5,000 trips to make 1 teaspoon of honey. So this shows us this is hard work and dedication. Okay? This is symbolic to Saturn and Capricorn energy. Okay? To build a beautiful foundation, we have to start with that 1 brick. Okay? 333 on the clock. And work our way up to the top. Okay? So this is to show you by having the knowledge of the spirit animal bee, 5,000 trips to make 1 teaspoon of honey, to keep going. Keep thriving on your soul purpose, your passion from the heart. And don't give up. So at the time, I kept seeing a bee a couple years ago on my soul journey. I was actually working on a project. And it also reminds us to be balanced, with the mind, the body, and the spirit. Okay? Be balanced. We have 2 feet. So it's connected with duality. We have to stand up tall on those 2 feet. Okay? So if we're not balanced properly, it takes us off alignment. Okay? So what happened was I was working on a project and I had a queen bee. She just kept on buzzing around me, and I would go out early in the daytime, maybe like 8, and I wouldn't come back in till almost 10 at night. I was out there. I was persistent. I was dedicated. But what I wasn't doing properly, I wasn't balanced because I was working on my project 5:05 on the clock. But I wasn't doing my spiritual work. Okay. So I was stuck too much in the physical realm of creativity, but I wasn't doing the work far as ascending with my knowledge, doing my studies, so once we are looking for our manifestations to come into fruition, we want to be balanced with the whole, to be balanced in the physical, doing the creativity, that's fine. But we have to set a daily routine so we'll be balanced in the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. So we'll be able to work on our creativity for about 3 hours. Then stop, work on a higher level of consciousness. What can we take in? Knowledge, reading a book, watching a documentary that'll help us ascend to a higher level of consciousness. Okay. Also, we have to make sure that we're balancing for as spirituality. Okay. Doing meditating as well. Connected with the ancient ancestors, showing gratitude. So this is hard work and dedication when we're dealing with spirituality. Okay. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's going to be transformational moments. But the bee shows us to have courage, have strength, have power, persevere through the hard times, but continue on working. Don't give up on yourself, okay? So bees are very strong creatures. And also, when we think of the queen bee, she does all the tasks, all the chores. She protects the honeycomb that's made out of wax, okay? She actually protects the young, and she creates thousands of bees a day, okay? So we receive our pollen from the bees, okay? Our nectar from the bees, our honey from the bees, okay? Always be familiar with that. So when we see this spirit animal, we want to make sure that we are balancing the mind, the body, and spirit as a whole. Okay. We are taking time and making a daily routine so that we can keep the balance of the mind, the body, and spirit as well. We also want to be familiar that bees are social creatures. Okay, they are good for planning and thought. They use the actually bees in the Eve Jean documentary. It's a very documentary to learn about. Okay, and it talks about they use bees for survival, thriving, planning, thought, and knowledge. Okay, so they actually ate the honey to survive. Okay, they went in a tree. They drank water and they ate honey to survive in Africa. Okay, always be familiar with that. So bees are very powerful creatures. Okay, so always be familiar that when we have a spirit animal following us, look up the meaning. Okay, this is a message from the divine showing us to tune into a meditative state. See what the ancient ancestors is trying to tell us, okay, by showing us this animal continuously, okay, because as of, I say 3 days now, bees has been following me all around. One came and sat on my hand, and I always talk to the spirit animals. And then as I was thinking of creating the video of bees, I look over to the left and I see a bee. And I'm like, hey, come back so I can take a picture of you. Like, this is the universe sending me a signal. Go ahead, create the video, put the knowledge of the spirit animal out here so the collective consciousness can be aware of the knowledge of the bees, how important they are in the universe, how we can look at these animals and see, let me thrive. let me continue to work hard. Let me continue to be dedicated. Let me have balance, have strength. Know that I have a divine source above that is watching over me, protecting me, and guiding me. Okay? Always be familiar with that. Let me tune into a meditative state and do some self-reflecting, some self-discernment, and see what else is the answers that I need to get from the ancient ancestors, the divine. Okay? Always be familiar with that. And when we think of honey, we think of sweetness because it's sweet. So we could be receiving a new love relationship. Okay? Honey is great for spells as well, to bring sweetness into your relationship. Okay? Always be familiar with that. So what you can do is you can take a teaspoon of honey, get 1 cup of sugar. Okay? Write love on a bay leaf. Put it in a small cup, and you will attract love and positivity. But I always tell you all, when we're doing love spells, we want to make sure that we're tapped into loving ourselves and our cups is overflowed with love. Okay, we will then eventually attract the individuals. But this is always good to bring the sweetness in your home, positivity far as family life, far as co-workers. You can place that honey and that 1 cup of sugar with a bay leaf anywhere, and it'll bring in sweetness, honey. Okay, happiness. Okay, because when we think of sweet things, we think of love, honey. Okay, happiness, joy. It's sweet, so it's going to bring in that good energy. Okay, always be familiar with that. So I love you all. I'm sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success, all love, and all positivity. I will be back with more. 12:12 just left the clock. I love you all. Peace and love.